still have that.
Okay, sige. So this person said, "Good morning, Miss. In one of my previous school organizations, I was criticized during an evaluation for not taking initiative. However, when I finally did take initiative, I was criticized for that as well. How should I approach this kind of situation in real world workplace? Thank you." Okay, this is tricky, but it is possible to address it. Number one, Roel, this could come from different people. Okay? Base ang naghambal mode of this one is prefers to be informed in every moment. Ang isa naman prefers that you should take initiative. Okay? So, nagbalis ka ranay ang imong reaction. That's why you get to learn best with experience. Number one is you always ask permission anyway. Okay? Always ask permission. Would you like me, Miss, to move forward with this? Okay, I plan tani kayo ni. Is that okay? Subject to your approval. Number one, get na permit is ask permission. You get to take initiative if you are able to fully observe already the workplace and build rapport. Okay? So, hindi ka lang na basta-basta manghimos sa mga papers nga ganila ta. You ask permission, Miss, would you like me to arrange this one? Wala pa man ko task at hand. I can take that. Basta may flow siya. So, yes, always ask permission. Taking initiative usually applies only when you did number one, naka-observe ka na, anong preference ng workers and the workplace. Okay? So, for interns, since bago lang tada, I always ask permission. Okay? Para sure ka. Okay. Thank you for sending. I think that's it. Thank you naman siya.
Okay, so we have reached the time limit for the question and answer. So once again, thank you so much, Miss Ella, for your time and expertise.
So of course, in appreciation of your valuable contribution, we won't leave you without appreciating you abundantly. Which is also on the way. Ito na. Okay. Rochella Salvilla, resource speaker during the University of St. LaSalle Summer Term General Orientation and Lecture Series, given this day, 14th of May 2026, at the University of St. LaSalle, L. Chavo, PhD, Director, Career Development Center, and by Tony Ann Chica, PhD, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a round of applause using your clapping emoji. Once again, thank you again for preparing our interns so well. But so far, dear interns, we have spent the morning focusing on the internal skills you will need.
Okay, and now it's time for the external rules and preparation. So this last segment is critical for everyone logged in today.
For the final part of our program, we will dive into the core details of your internship, otherwise known as the general orientation.
So this will cover the essential processes, documentation, important deadlines, and all the how-tos of your academic requirements.
To lead this comprehensive orientation, let us welcome back on the virtual for Sir Matthew, Justin, and Toy.
Okay, so first and foremost, we want to express our sincere gratitude to all of you for being here to demonstrates your commitment to this journey, and we are thrilled to have you on board. So before we begin our general orientation, we would like to acknowledge the leadership and the team behind the Career Development Center. So please join me in acknowledging Development Center Associate, Miss Eleanor M. Subire, our Job Placement Officer, And we also have our dedicated internship programs, Mr. Jaime V. Ciron II for the College of Business and Accountancy, and Ms. Saiva Silvestre Tortosa for the College of Arts and Sciences, Engineer Benedict J. Salazar for the College of Computing Studies, and Mr. John Emerson R. Sanchez for the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. Into three key segments: internship phases and document schedules. Let us give the floor to Dr. Anthony Gallego.
Hello and good morning, guys. Are you still with us, guys? I hope you still with us. Can you please give me a thumbs up if you're still with us? Okay, thank you so much for that gesture. So what I'm tasked to discuss here right now is the important things when it comes to preparation of being an intern student. These are the five internship phases. And these are the pre-deployment, deployment, monitoring, completion, and lastly would be the transitioning forward. So we'll be dissecting each of these and give you a more idea on what should be the things that has to be prepared and things that has to be focused on, especially when it comes to documents preparation for these different types of phases. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this will serve as the complete guidelines for our internship journey. Please move to the next. Okay, so first is the first phase that we normally considered, especially for a kind of new interns entering for an internship program. So the things that we would like you to yourself, but you have to remember at the very first on part. So you have to remember no orientation, no internship policy. Okay? So you have also to update yourself and be like our Facebook so that you will be updated on whatever announcement, the information drive that we would like to provide you guys. No? And here also choose a company from the list of job sites that we'll be providing to you so that you have choices on what company that you would like really to have your interns. So we'll be providing that later. Please. Okay, so this is accredited partners. Kindly please capture the screen, guys. You'll be needing this later, no, when that time you wanted to choose the accredited companies that we had. Okay. So part of the pre-deployment phase is we need to prepare the following pre-deployment documentations or the LOE. Your personal resume, and all we have to comply. You have to remember also, no, as part of the parents' consent, you need to provide a valid ID and three wet signatures. And you have to remember, e-signature is not allowed here. 1.5 years no, is you need to submit the pre-deployment document at our office in CDC office. So you have to remember, guys, that it should be in a short white folder. All those documents put inside with a short white folder. Okay. So and please take note. Forms will be reviewed by your internship and to sign first before your DC. Okay. Next slide. So in documents submitted here in our office, if there's such a correction, sign the letter of endorsement. Student will forward this to your corresponding DC, department chair. And as expected, DC will sign the letter of endorsement if there's no correction. But what if there is a correction? So this is the steps involved here. So coordinator will mark the corrections, and you're also required to edit the form correctly. And you have to go back once again, to step 1.5, which is you're going to submit your pre-deployment documents in a white folder. So make sure also, guys, to scan upload the signed pre-deployment document to your designated Google Drive, in which will be provided later on. And then submit the original document to the company where you applied. Okay, please take note on that. Next slide. Okay. In some cases that you decided to have your interns within the Negros Occidental, these are the requirements that we need to comply as part of our pre-deployment requirement. Parents' consent, no, is one of the requirement with the corresponding IDs, as what I mentioned, and 3 signatures, wet signature or written signature. So once again, guys, no, scan or e-signature is not allowed. Then for the pre-deployment requirements, so you need to include the application letter, the endorsement letter, and your resume. Next slide, please. In some cases, if you decided to venture your internship outside Negros Occidental, so these are the requirements. A letter of intent, and it should be addressed to Dr. Tony Ann La Chica, our BCAA currently. And kindly request that template from CDC. Now you can have it by email. Okay? So for these particular requirements, notarized parents' consent is required with their corresponding valid IDs with 3 written signatures. So again, e-signature is not allowed. Third, is the pre-deployment requirements. And this includes the application letter, endorsement letter, and the resume. Okay, for some cases, if you are a working student, it could be within our school or outside the school, or a student assistance, and probably students that are working outside the university, as what I mentioned, you must provide certificate of employment or the COE. Okay, together with this, is the job description. And you have to take note, class or guy, it should be aligned with your program. Like, for instance, if you are an IT, it should be aligned your task within the required skills being an IT, as what I've mentioned, and it's very important that it should be signed by your supervisor, to make it valid. Okay, remember, every 200 hours is subtracted with the 50 hours. So as an example, we have here for BSBA